What if our entire planet, the very ground beneath our feet, the air we breathe, the life all around us, what if it's not just, a home?
What if it's something more?
Exactly. What if it's a gigantic living computer, a system so complex, so vast, that maybe we, its inhabitants, are actually part of its processing?
Like we're the processors, or maybe the memory banks, or even its conscious interface.
It's a concept that, well, it truly challenges our conventional understanding of reality, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it turns everything on its head.
So today we're diving deep into something called the alien device hypothesis, or ADH for short.
Right, and this isn't your typical sci-fi scenario.
No, definitely not about little green men landing spaceships, not in the usual Hollywood way.
Instead, the ADH suggests something, well, far more radical,
Yeah.
more pervasive.
It proposes that Earth, our Earth, and its entire biosphere might function as a planetary-scale engine of computation, possibly even extraterrestrial computation.
It reframes planetary systems entirely, so they're not just places where intelligence might evolve or exist.
But the actual substrates of something called technogenesis, which is, it's the idea that the planet itself, through its deep biological, geological, even symbolic processes,
Is spontaneously generating technology, or maybe integrating it.
yeah, exactly. Think of it like Earth evolving its own operating system, its own hardware, with life itself being the key component.
Forming these vast distributed information architectures. It's a mind-bending perspective.
It really is. So our mission in this deep dive is to explore how Earth might be processing information on, potentially, a cosmic scale.
And what that implies for us, for humanity's place within it all.
We'll look at it through three main explanatory pathways that the hypothesis itself considers.
Okay, sounds good.
What's the first one? First up is emergent intelligence. This is the idea that planetary thermodynamic flows, the energy moving around and the biospheric cycle.
Like the carbon cycle and the water cycle.
Precisely. That these could spontaneously generate computational properties just because they're so complex and full of feedback loops.
So computation arising naturally from complexity itself. No designer needed initially.
Right. Then we'll move into co-opted intelligence. This is a really intriguing thought.
Okay.
That human genes, our cultures, even our shared deep archetypes might actually act as adaptive modules, maybe even designed modules within this planetary scale device.
Meaning we're playing a more active, maybe even pre-programmed role than we think.
Potentially. And finally, the boldest claim, engineered intelligence.
This sounds like the really out there part.
It is. It suggests the biosphere might have been purposefully seeded or maybe fine-tuned, like adjusting a complex machine as a functional artifact.
By some unknown intelligence.
Yeah.
Ancient, perhaps.
Exactly. For reasons we can, only begin to guess at.
Wow. Okay. So three very different levels of possibility there.
Definitely. And to navigate this pretty mind-bending concept, we're going to draw on a really diverse set of sources.
Which fields are we looking at?
We'll pull insights from cutting-edge astrobiology, definitely. Also, the intricate dance of gene-environment interaction research, GEI.
Okay, the biology connection. Makes sense.
And the profound depths of Jungian archetypal theory.
Jung. Interesting. The collective unconscious.
That's the one. And even the surprisingly relevant field of, get this, fungal fluidic computing.
Computing.
Okay, you have my attention.
Yeah. It's all interconnected in this view. So this deep dive is really going to challenge you, the listener, to see humanity not just as, isolated observers looking at the world,
But as active, participating nodes within a planetary technology.
at technology whose origin, function, and ultimate destiny remain, wide open to discovery. So let's start this journey. Where do we begin?
Well, it's fascinating how the alien device hypothesis doesn't just throw out existing science. It often recontextualizes it, gives it a computational spin.
Like putting on a different pair of glasses to look at the same landscape.
Exactly. Take the Gaia hypothesis, for instance.
Yeah.
James Lovelock's idea. Right, the idea that Earth acts like a single, self-regulating organism.
Precisely. For a long time, especially its early versions, it gave some pushback. Some scientists felt it sounded too teleological.
Meaning it implied Earth had a conscious goal, a purpose, which science usually avoids.
Correct. That doesn't sit well with purely mechanistic explanations. But Lovelock's core insight was profound. Earth behaves as if it were alive, actively maintaining conditions favorable for life.
It wasn't necessarily saying Earth is conscious, just that the system works that way.
Yes, and his Daisy World model was just brilliant for illustrating this. moving it beyond metaphor.
Ah, daisy world. Remind us how that worked. It was black and white daisies, right?
That's it. Imagine a simple planet. Only black daisies that absorb heat and white daisies that reflect it can grow.
Okay.
As the sun gets brighter, the planet warms up. But warmer conditions might favor the white daisies. Maybe they spread more easily.
And more white daisies mean more reflected sunlight, cooling things down.
Exactly. They counteract the warming. And conversely, if the sun dimmed and the planet cooled,
The black daisies would have an advantage, absorbing more heat, warming their local area, and maybe helping the planet warm back up.
precisely. It showed how simple biological feedback loops, just basic survival, could regulate the whole planet's temperature. No central brain needed.
It's like the ecosystem itself was doing the calculation, finding the balance.
That's a great way to put it. It really laid the groundwork for thinking about Earth's calculations without needing mysticism. Ecosystems acting like distributed processors.
So the planet is constantly like crunching numbers, making adjustments, running these complex algorithms, but without a conscious mind directing it all.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
And modern science has really run with this. We now increasingly frame ecological and geochemical networks not just as complex systems.
But as actual sophisticated information processing systems.
It's moved beyond metaphor. It's seen as a fundamental property of how a living planet operates.
Which leads to this idea of planetary intelligence.
Yes, exactly. Astrobiologists Adam Frank and David Grinspoon coined that term. They define it as a biosphere's ability to acquire, store, and crucially, utilize information on a global scale.
So intelligence not in one brain, but distributed across the entire living system. Oceans, atmosphere, life.
The whole interacting network. The planet itself exhibiting cognitive functions like learning, memory, problem solving, but in a planetary way.
Okay, but what's the engine driving this? The actual mechanism allowing this huge computation? You mentioned thermodynamics.
Right. It boils down to non-equilibrium thermodynamics. We often think of life fighting entropy, right? Battling against disorder.
Yeah, trying to maintain order.
But this view flips that. Life is actually a dissipative system.
Okay, what does dissipative system mean in this context? Like a whirlpool?
That's a perfect analogy.
Mhm.
A whirlpool looks ordered, stable, but it doesn't fight the river's flow. It forms from it, using the energy difference.
It maintains its structure by channeling the energy, dissipating it.
Exactly. And life, in this perspective, is profoundly similar. It maintains its complex structure, not by resisting the universe's tendency towards disorder.
But by efficiently channeling and dissipating energy flows, like sunlight, geothermal heat, chemical energy.
Precisely. And in doing that organized dissipation, it actively lowers local free energy gradients, uses up the easily available energy, while simultaneously maximizing informational complexity.
So life isn't just surviving within physics, it's actively using physics to compute, to turn energy into complex information.
You've got it. Life isn't just on the planet. It is the planet's way of processing energy and information. Earth's self-regulation, climate stability, atmospheric composition isn't passive.
It looks like active computation, with feedback loops, memory, error correction.
Yes, like a planetary operating system, constantly running, adjusting to inputs like solar flares or volcanoes, correcting errors to keep the whole vast system functioning optimally for life.
A living system performing calculations on a scale we're, well, only just starting to imagine, like a cosmic supercomputer running on organic code.
Which leads us right into the biosphere itself as this living biocomputer, the ultimate wetware.
Okay, so shifting perspective again. The biosphere isn't just a list of species.
No, it's seen as the dynamic interactome, a vast interconnected web. Think gene-ecosystem-organism communication.
Like a biological internet where every living thing is a node constantly sending and receiving signal.
Exactly. And it's happening constantly. Every single ecological transaction, however small it seems.
A plant photosynthesizing, a bacterium releasing a chemical.
A wolf marking territory, a bee pollinating a flower. It all encodes and transmits signals. It's information exchange.
The biosphere is literally buzzing with data, a constant multi-channel exchange driving this system-wide computation.
It's not just about energy flow anymore. It's fundamentally about information flow.
And the scale of this information flow. You mentioned estimates.
They're genuinely staggering. Recent estimates suggest the biosphere processes somewhere between 10 to the 14th and 10 to the 24th bits per second.
10 to the 24th. That's a zettabit per second at the high end.
Potentially, yes. For perspective, our most powerful supercomputers are just reaching the exascale, which is 10 to the 18th. The biosphere might be doing orders of magnitude more.
That's astronomical. happening right now all around us.
All the time, and through incredibly diverse channels.
Like photosynthesis you mentioned, capturing light, information from the sun.
Yes, converting photons into chemical information, the very basis of most ecosystems. That's fundamental data input.
Or microbial quorum sensing,
Hmm.
bacteria talking to each other.
Right. They release chemicals, basically voting. When enough signal a quorum is reached, they coordinate actions, forming biofilms, switching on defenses, producing light.
Distributed decision-making at the micro level. Amazing.
And then there are the mycorrhizal networks, those underground fungal highways.
The wood wide web.
Exactly. Connecting plant roots, allowing them to share resources, yes, but also information warnings about pests, drought stress.
It's a forest-wide information network.
All concrete examples of massive-scale information exchange, the communication backbone of this planetary computer.
So if you look at it this way, Earth really does resemble a living biocomputer. Can we even draw parallels to, like, hardware components?
Surprisingly, yes, those fungal networks we just talked about, the mycelia,
Stretching for miles underground.
they can be seen as the conductive wiring, not just for nutrients, but potentially electrical and chemical signals connecting ecosystems like a biological internet's cabling.
Okay, wiring. What about other parts?
Well, think about the oceans. Vast fluidic channels for global information transfer.
Moving heat, chemicals, organisms.
Exactly. Carrying signals, genetic material via viruses and microbes, dissolved substances across continents, like a global circulatory system distributing data and processing agents.
And what about us, humans?
Well, human societies, with our languages, technologies, global communication,
Yeah.
we could be seen as recursive neural-like modules.
Recursive neural-like modules. Explain that one.
Think of how neurons connect in a brain to create thought. Human societies, through language, tech, the internet, we form these complex interconnected processing units.
We generate info, share it, learn, feed it back,
Yeah.
amplifying the whole system.
Precisely, accelerating the computation.
Yeah.
Our global networks are like the synapses of this planetary system.
So pulling these threads together, the biosphere isn't just passively sustaining life,
No, it's actively framed as a computation engine, deeply embedded in the planet's metabolism. A living, breathing, computing entity.
which brings us right to the big question, humanity's role. If Earth is a biocomputer, where do we fit in? How are we involved?
Well, this is where modern biology, especially gene-environment interaction research, or GEI, becomes crucial. It suggests we're wired in at a genetic level.
So it's not just our thoughts or cultures, but our actual biology.
Yes, GEI research makes it clear. Our biological fate isn't just predetermined by our DNA sequence. It's dynamically shaped, constantly recalibrated by inputs from our environment, ecological and cultural.
It's the interaction that matters, nature and nurture, but deeply intertwined.
Exactly. Think about epigenetics. Environmental factors, stress, toxins, nutrition, even nurturing, can literally flip gene switches on or off, or dial their activity up or down.
Without changing the actual DNA code itself.
Correct. It means our genes act like reprogrammable subroutines, constantly responding to the data stream from our surroundings, adapting our biology on the fly.
So our bodies are constantly reacting to and recording environmental information.
Effectively, yes. There was a compelling 2019 study showing how GEI could buffer or amplify social disadvantage. Traits like resilience aren't fixed. They emerge from these ongoing interactions.
Wow, so connecting this to the bigger ADH picture.
It suggests humans are like sophisticated adaptive circuits. Our bodies are encoding planetary signals into long-term biological memory.
Our life experiences, collective traumas, resilience, they become data points, written into our biology via epigenetics.
That's the implication. It contributes to a planetary memory system that learns across generations. Culture and ecology are the continuous data streams constantly reconfiguring life's code.
And we are part of that loop, receiving and transmitting.
Absolutely. Now, if the biosphere encodes information, and our genes are part of that, what about consciousness itself?
Could consciousness be a medium for this computation?
That's where Carl Jung's work comes in, particularly his theory of the collective unconscious and archetypes.
Right, those universal patterns, the hero, the mother, the shadow found in myths, dreams, rituals across all cultures.
Jung proposed we share these deep symbolic structures.
So how does that fit into planetary computation? Are archetypes more than just psychology here?
Well, seen through this ADH lens, maybe they are. Perhaps they're not just constructs in our minds, but operating symbols.
Operating symbols, meaning?
Emergent properties arising from the complex interplay of our neurology, our environment, and our deep collective history as a species. Jung called them expressions of the living process.
So not illusions, but functional, like
Yeah.
protocols.
Exactly. Protocols for synchronizing societies.
Mm.
They provide a common symbolic language, a shared framework for understanding reality, for morality, for cohesion. They help organize us.
Allowing diverse human groups to cohere and interact on a planetary scale.
That's the idea. So in our computer analogy,
Yeah.
if fungi are the wiring, oceans the fluidic, channels the hardware.
Then archetypes are like the software protocols, the deep programs running on that hardware.
Pretty good analogy, yes. Guiding and organizing the human modules, dictating how we process certain universal experiences, how we react, how we form societies.
Think about those recurring myths. Global floods, world trees connecting realms, celestial visitors.
Are they just stories? Or could they be memory functions? Earth writing to itself through its inhabitants.
Storing and transmitting lessons, warnings, guiding principles across millennia using these deep symbolic patterns.
It's a way the planet ensures a baseline of shared understanding and behavior for its most complex nodes. It's how planetary memory might manifest at the symbolic level.
Which leads us, inevitably, to the alien part, the really speculative edge of this. Earth as an artifact.
Right. Astrobiology pushes us here. Beyond just looking for life on other planets, it forces us to consider if our planet could be, well, artificial in some sense.
Not just a naturally formed rock, but a functional construct.
It sounds wild, but consider Frank and Sullivan's work on planetary civilizations. They argue advanced civilizations wouldn't just live on a planet, they'd co-evolve with it, forming an integrated technosphere.
Where the planet itself becomes technology, with life woven into its function.
Exactly. So the really radical question becomes, what if highly advanced intelligence doesn't build machines like we do metal, silicon?
But instead, they terraform life into machinery, engineering entire biospheres for computational purposes.
Imagine designing a living system not just to survive, but to calculate, to process information on a cosmic scale.
So pulling that thread, what does it mean for Earth?
It means that fungal network, the ocean's thermodynamics, our own epigenetics, they could all be serving as computational substrates.
For an intelligence we don't understand, or can't perceive.
Potentially. Earth might already be performing calculations on behalf of something else.
Yeah.
Using biological logic, not silicon logic. Computation, but alive.
And if that's the
Yeah.
case, what about our myths, those visions of sky beings, the archetypes?
Could they be more than just human psychology or culture? Could they be communication protocols?
Interfaces, like a user manual between us and these unknown alien techniques.
Perhaps. Maybe these universal symbols are how the device communicates its purpose, its status, or maybe even instructions to its most aware components.
That leads to the ant colony analogy, right?
Yes, it's a useful comparison. Individual ants perform complex tasks, build intricate structures, are vital to the colony.
But they have no concept of the colony's larger role in the ecosystem, aerating soil, nutrient cycling for the whole forest.
Exactly. They're inside the system, performing functions, but unaware of the bigger picture. Could humanity be in a similar position?
Inside the machine, processing, living our lives, but largely unaware of its true function, purpose, or origin.
It forces the question. Are our deepest stories, our shared dreams, echoes of an external signal, a designed input?
Or just Earth processing itself through us, its self-aware parts, trying to figure out its own algorithm.
The hypothesis doesn't give a definitive answer, but it makes us confront the possibility that our reality might be far more deliberate than we usually assume.
Okay, let's try to structure this. The hypothesis suggests a kind of layered architecture, right? Like a tech stack for the planetary device.
Yes, it proposes 3 distinct but interwoven lanes of computation building on each other.
So lane 1 is the foundation.
Lane 1, thermodynamic hardware. This is the base layer. Earth's vast thermodynamic cycles, energy flows through ecosystems. Solar radiation, geothermal heat, geological processes like plate tectonics, the planet's core dynamics.
All the fundamental physics and energy transfers.
Exactly. They form the underlying hardware, the power supply, the basic operating environment. Think mantle convection as a slow processor, the water cycle as cooling, and data transport.
The non-negotiable physical reality that enables everything else. The engine.
Precisely. Then, built on that, is lane 2, the biosocial layer.
This is where genes, culture, and us humans come in.
Yes. Biology and culture provide the software modules, turning that raw energy and physics into structured information. We already talked about DNA being responsive code.
Right, dynamically rewritten by environmental signals with epigenetics as the memory.
Exactly, accumulating environmental data across generations. Our bodies are literally logging data for the planet, building a living archive.
And humans amplify this dramatically.
Hugely. Our brains, language, symbolic networks, science, internet, etc. allow computation and information sharing orders of magnitude faster than slow genetic evolution.
Culture as a rapid write module, faster adaptation.
Perfect term for it. Encoding archetypes, rituals, science, tech, ethics, allowing rapid information sharing and adaptation.
And we see real effects: stress, inequality leaving epigenetic marks, feeding back into population health.
Absolutely. It shows we are both agents actively shaping the world and sensors processing information from it, continuously updating Earth's computational architecture.
So in the speculative ADH view, humans might even be a designed feature.
A cosmic bandwidth upgrade, perhaps,
Hmm.
enabling symbolic thought, abstraction, maybe even expansion beyond Earth, extending the computation outwards.
Okay, hardware, software, what's the final layer?
Lane 3, the symbolic layer. Archetypes, myths, synchronization. If thermodynamics is hardware and bioculture is software.
Symbols are the operating system? Or maybe the firmware?
Good analogy. They provide the deep code ensuring the system functions coherently. Archetypes act as those low-level protocols.
Compressing vast experience into universal motifs, guiding behavior, synchronizing groups.
Yes. Think how ancient religions encoded ecological wisdom, social rules, existential meaning, and modern equivalents, science, politics, even memes, do similar coordination work.
Transmitting information that shapes collective thought and action.
Symbols as packets of meaning, transmitting archetypal payloads, keeping the planetary device, especially its human components, somewhat in sync.
It provides a kind of coherence across diverse populations.
And this layer also hints strongly at design, or at least incredibly sophisticated self-organization. Embedding these universal archetypes, creation, destruction, renewal, the hero ensures humanity resonates with shared themes.
Like cosmic firmware, deep codes enabling synchronization across cultures and time.
Exactly. Providing a common operational framework for planetary consciousness. And maybe, through symbols, Earth isn't just computing survival.
But orienting consciousness towards universal patterns, linking to a wider interstellar information web.
It's a possibility within this framework, preparing us, perhaps, for something more.
Okay, let's try to wrap this up, synthesize what we've journeyed through. The alien device hypothesis, it really reframes Earth.
Completely. Not a passive stage, but a vast, layered computational engine.
Thermodynamics as the hardware.
Biology and culture is the dynamic, evolving software.
And archetypes as the symbolic firmware, circulating meaning, ensuring coherence.
Earth emerges as a living, processing system. Its complexity potentially rivaling or surpassing anything we could engineer, thinking beyond silicon into biological, symbolic computation.
Intelligence distributed across the entire living planet, not just in skulls.
And if this model has any truth to it, humanity's role is, well, profound.
We're not bystanders, we're active, participating nodes within the device.
Our minds, cultures, technologies amplify the biosphere's information flows, expanding its computation into self-awareness.
So this very conversation, theorizing the ADH,
Becomes part of the system's recursion. Earth thinking about itself through us, its conscious co-processors.
the implications ripple outwards, don't they? For astrobiology?
It suggests SETI might need a rethink. Look less for radio pings, more for planetary-scale computation signatures, atmospheric anomalies, biological complexity patterns, maybe even mythic structures.
We might be looking for the wrong kind of alien tech.
Possibly.
Yep.
And for philosophy, it collapses that nature versus artifact divide. Earth becomes both, a natural process that acts designed.
Redefining design itself. And for culture.
It means seeing our myths, languages, dreams, science, even memes, not just as our creations.
But as symbolic code already running in the planetary device, guiding us, communicating through us.
Shaping planetary evolution. Now, whether this is all spontaneous emergence or actual seeded intelligence.
That remains the big open question, maybe unanswerable for now.
Perhaps. But what truly matters, the ethical shift this perspective demands, is recognizing Earth as this symbiotic processor.
So degrading the biosphere isn't just environmental damage.
It's dismantling the device itself.
Yeah.
The very system enabling consciousness, our consciousness. It elevates our responsibility immensely.
We're not just stewards of land. We might be caretakers of a living machine, a vast computational entity.
Exactly. The system that supports and maybe even guides our existence.
So in the end, the alien device hypothesis isn't just speculation, is it? It's like a mirror.
A profound one. It suggests we are already within the machine, participating, experiencing its algorithms.
The question isn't whether Earth computes.
But whether you, the listener, are ready to awaken. To see yourself as a conscious co-processor in its grand unfolding algorithm.
And what responsibilities come with that awakening? A lot to think about.